don't believe in coaching, and you're just wrong.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
Coaches
I got
are
four. I got
coaches.
four.
Coaches are important.
You didn't know.
No.
Phil Jackson, bro. I played you before Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson
and we got you.
that with his legs crossed and said, figure it out.
Listen,
that's why I know
we got
what I'm talking about.
you don't.
You rely on coaches too much. That's why you didn't win. You got to do it yourself. You got to step up.
The best part about this was Chuck was just trying to give Jamal Mosley a compliment. But as usually happens, something Chuck said triggered Shaq, and it devolved into a very emotional, petty, and personal argument. That being said, given the amount of respect both these two men command, one must treat these statements with respect. And truthfully, it's not the first time a superstar player has said this about NBA coaches. So it begs the question, does Shaq have a point? Does coaching in the NBA really matter? Let's talk. Cue my intro. Hello, YouTube fam!
You see, it's me! It's me!
It's your boy, Big B! The greatest Miami Heat fan in all the land. Why is that important? Even though Shaq left, my love for the Heat stayed. So we're gonna unpack the origin of the argument, and then we're gonna address Shaq's question. The Orlando Magic lost Paolo Banchero early this year to a really terrible injury. Their first pick, their best player by far. Most people thought the Orlando Magic would absolutely capitulate and go to shit. They have been one of the biggest surprise stories in the NBA, led by the play of the Wagner brothers. It seems very simple and sequitur. You lose your best player, your team still performs well, it must be, at least in some part, to the coaches, right? The guy who makes the lineups, draws the plays. In this case, I think with Jamal Mosley, it's absolutely correct. He deserves all the plaudits. For some reason or another, upon hearing
Coach Mosley is doing a fabulous job. When you lose your best player, 15 out of 15 or 13 out of 14?
12 out of 13.
Shaq got very upset saying,
Paolo's out. This guy is the man. So it has nothing to do with coaching. It's just about the
Of course it has something to do with coaching.
next man stepping up.
No, that's not. You can't just.
and I think it's true. But then Shaq starts to dismiss the role of coaching altogether. And when confronted, he says,
four. I got
Coaches
four.
that-
Doing
coaches
it my
that-
way.
okay, Shaq, so did you win those 4 rings without a coach? And then I think Kenny had the best comeback.
Yeah, Phil Jackson, bro. And you
Yeah,
had you had the two greatest coaches that ever coached
you watch
basketball. Pat
Phil-
Riley.
Right, Shaq? When you didn't have an elite coach, you got smoked by the Rockets. You have won all of your championships with the greatest coaches of all time. So Shaq won his first 3 with Phil Jackson, and then his 4th with Pat Riley. Consensus regarded as 2 of the greatest coaches to ever coach this game. Here's a riddle. What do Michael Jordan, Kobe, and Shaq all have in common? They all won the bulk, if not all of their titles with one Phil Jackson. This is Shaq's response.
I played you before Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson
and we got you.
that with his legs crossed and said, figure it out.
Listen,
I don't even think Shaq believes that, to be honest. We all know that Phil Jackson is a value added.
One breath, one mind.
You know, I approached it with mindfulness.
Pat Riley is a value added. What Shaq is saying echoes something other players have said. Like Kyrie Irving famously said this about Steve Nash when he first got hired. Oh, we don't really need a coach. Even like to a lesser extent, people say, oh, well, LeBron's never had an elite coach. Really? Well, isn't Eric Spoelstra voted in the top 10 of all-time coaches? Oh yeah. And isn't Ty Lue gonna be one of the greatest coaches ever if he continues? Yes. So
Stop the cap.
every great player has had a great coach to help push them over the edge. Everyone, including Shaq. But then for him to say this about coaching,
You rely on coaches too much. That's why you didn't win. You got to do it yourself. You got to step up.
this makes absolutely no sense. Charles Barkley trusted his coach too much. That's why he lost. He didn't go out there and do it. No one needs to feel sorry for Charles Barkley, but he won MVP and won 62 games on the way to the NBA Finals, where he faced a Michael Jordan who was foaming at the mouth and wanting to cement his legacy and super pissed off that he didn't get an MVP. Charles Barkley lost to Michael Jordan, otherwise he would have won. That team gave them a lot of fight. It wasn't a walkthrough at all. So Charles Barkley is also an outstanding player and has nothing to do with his reliance on coaches. In fact, it was because he didn't have an elite coach versus a guy like Phil Jackson. That's why he couldn't go over the hump. Not because he trusted his coach too much, because he didn't have a great coach to guide him in the same way. Shaq won his titles with Phil Jackson and Pat Riley. Kobe won all his titles with Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan won all his titles with Phil Jackson. Even the great Bill Russell, he won all his titles with Red Auerbach, and then himself as the manager. Like, every single great player has had a great coach. Magic Johnson and Kareem had, again, oh yeah, Pat Riley. Did Pat Riley have a value added to that Laker team? I think so. Hey Shaq, what about the triangle? So are you telling me, Shaq, you could have gone out there, raw dogged it, and won 3 titles? So the triangle meant nothing too? This is the danger of statements like this. This is the danger when ex-players get in their feelings about their accomplishments, because they start making blanket statements that actually can be dangerous for someone's job, the viewability of the league, given that these guys are the front-facing media, and it honestly waters down the product a lot, because what he's essentially saying is the NBA is run by talent only. And so no matter what team you have, no matter what coach you have, if you have the most talented players around you, they can go out there and free ball it. X's and O's don't matter, theory don't matter. But the guy who won titles with the most theory and the greatest coaches is saying coaches don't matter. This is the problem again with new media. Another instance which showed how new media can get out of hand and out of touch was Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco debating the average American's lifestyle and livelihood, which was also equally, if not more ridiculous. Check it out here. Peace!